So, yep, we're going to keep this on the draw for sure. A couple removal spells plus Glory Bringers sounds good. No energy creatures, but hopefully that'll be fine. So our opponent's going for an Attune. This may mean Sultai Energy. Yeah, he's searching up for an island here. Well, I'm just going to Attune also. We can use a removal spell next turn. Don't need to hold up Magma Spray at the moment. And here's a Glint Sleeve Siphoner. So our opponent is playing the Sultai Energy deck. We've seen that on the open circuit quite a bit. I'm going to use the Magma Spray to take care of this Siphoner because it doesn't have as many targets as Harness Lightning. We'd rather keep the Harness Lightning around. But it's possible our opponent's playing a slower version of Sultai. We'll see. So expecting to see a play there on turn 3 for our opponent. But sometimes the mana base is pretty tricky with this Sultai Energy deck. And here's a Rogue Refiner, sure. So we have a bit of a decision to make whether we want to go ahead and use this Harness Lightning on the Rogue Refiner. We also have to be worried about Blossoming Defense. I think I'm going to take a draw step here, see what we find. Okay, it's just a Botanical Sanctum. Just going to take this slow. There's creatures we care about much more than Rogue Refiner. Also, we can exert a Glory Bringer potentially to just get rid of it. So we definitely care more about this Glint Sleeve Siphoner. So I am going to try to get rid of that with a Harness Lightning. And now hopefully we can take care of the Rogue Refiner with Glorybringer. That's the plan. So we have to be worried about Hostage Taker from our opponent. If our opponent is able to set up a turn where, say, they have Hostage Taker plus Blossoming Defense, that could definitely be a problem. So the board favors us right now. It's gonna kind of come down to what our opponent has on this next turn. I'm guessing it could be a Hostage Taker. No, it's actually a Vizier of Many Faces in the main deck. That's pretty spicy. It happens to be very good in this particular matchup. So this definitely leaves us with the decision. I think we want to just play this other Glorybringer and get in there. 2 Glorybringers should be better than 1, right? The issue is that we know our opponent has a hand chock full of spells. So there's one of them. That's going to take care of one of our Glorybringers. Vraska's Contempt. Our opponent's winning this race right now, but hopefully this Rogue Refiner can draw us into something nice. There's a Whirl of Ritual, so that will definitely be helpful. So hopefully these Thopters can help turn the race in our favor. It's likely this turn our opponent will exert the Glorybringer, assuming that our opponent actually attacks with it, which I would think would be the case. So probably going to try to take out this Whirler Virtuoso. No, it's actually going to go after the Rogue Refiner. So we have a decision whether we want to block the Glorybringer or not. I think I'm okay taking 4. Falling down to 5 here. And yeah, this is what I was worried about. Hostage Taker, so that's going to be able to take our Glorybringer. And it's a pretty big setback. We are going to need to draw something right away to deal with that Hostage Taker. And we were not able to find it. I don't see any real way to win this game now. I'm just going to attack with the Thopters, hope our opponent for some reason doesn't kill us, because, yeah, I don't think there's any way we're winning if our opponent just casts that Glorybringer. But of course our opponent's drawn pretty much a perfect combination of lands and spells, while we've flooded out quite a bit. Yep, alright. So looking at the sideboard for this matchup, I actually think I like this. I like our side of the matchup, but it's pretty close. We're definitely going to bring in the Vizier of Many Faces. Was not happy to see that in the main deck of our opponent's list. Braid is another good removal spell. Deals with cards like Winding Constrictor. And, yeah, that Sultai deck just has a ton of creatures in it. And Long Tusk Cub is actually pretty vulnerable in this matchup. I like to try to go a bit bigger. Same with the Virtuoso, we can shave on those potentially. So those are the cuttable cards. I like Carnage Tyrant for sure. And then Nissa on the play, I actually think it could be pretty good. Do we want both Magma Sprays? Magma Spray does deal with Glint Sleeve Siphoner, which is pretty important. I think I'm gonna go with this Nissa plan though. See how that works out. Because if we're able to stick an early Planeswalker on the play, we can potentially snowball it into a win. But, yep, definitely going to mulligan this. Ugh, man. Well, the good news is that our opponent has taken a mulligan. The bad news is we're staring at this hand right now. I think we have to go to 5. This hand is yeah, we need too much to go right. Too many running lands to keep this. Alright, well, 4 it is. Alright, well, we're definitely going to keep that land on top of our deck. This is... You actually don't have to mulligan. I've never gone to 4 with this deck before, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. Clearly it can, because it just happened. That being said, it looks like our opponent is stuck on 1 land. So we went from being a dog to actually, I think we're probably favored, especially if our opponent misses their next land drop. We can still go turn 4 Bristling Hydra, but alright. Our opponent found both a land, which was an Aether Hub, and a Siphoner, so pretty much the perfect sequence for our opponent there. Although we also found a land, so I guess that's fair, right? Now our opponent's most likely going to get the 3rd land because they're going to get 2 draws at it. There it is, but it's an island, so... That being said, this Glintsleeve Siphoner is going to produce an energy so that this Aether Hub can produce green mana, so... Our opponent's just kind of barely cobbling something together here. Is kind of what it seems. Yep, so that's going to enable the Rogue Refiner. If we get an untapped land, that would be really nice. Unfortunately, not that good. So, I think we may want to just go ahead and take out this Glintsleeve Siphoner right now. We don't want our opponent drawing more cards. I'm going to go for it. It's also pretty nice that we're going to go up to 7 energy. So we can afford to pump this Bristling Hydra and really get a clock going on our opponent. That's a good one. Gonti is pretty bad news. We're pretty reliant now on drawing the land for Glorybringer. That was not the land for Glorybringer, it was just a land. So we're just going to have to pass here. We can hold up Supreme Will, so hopefully our opponent just taps out for a spell. We can then counter it and play Glorybringer. But it's like, I mean, we're not winning this long game by any stretch. Our opponent's got a Gonti card. And this isn't great for us either because our opponent now has 2 mana still left over after casting the Siphoner. But I don't think we can use the Supreme Will on the Siphoner. I think we would rather try to find something. I'm actually going to let the Cub resolve too and just go digging for action with Supreme Will. If our opponent had tapped out for something, definitely would have countered. As is, though, I like this. I think we want the Vizier. I think it's better than Chandra in this spot. So that's another good card that can help us close out the game. And there's a Carnage Tyrant. Well, alright, so we've got some big plays. I'm going to start with the Glorybringer. And I think we want to get rid of the Gonti of our opponents. And this is going to force our opponent to trade pretty much 2 creatures for the Bristling Hydra. So it's probably going to be Rogue Refiner and Siphoner, although it could be Rogue Refiner and Cub. Okay, so it's going to be Rogue Refiner and Cub. So we actually have a bit of a decision here. I kind of like pumping the Bristling Hydra to, well, I guess that's not really necessary because it doesn't really change the math. So yeah, we just have to let this happen. Pumping the Cub would be irrelevant in that spot. So our opponent is going to have to take damage from the Siphoner. If this Glorybringer stays in play, which is a big if, then we can use the Vizier to copy it. Wow, okay. So Vraska can just take out the Glorybringer here, but it looks like our opponent's making a Pirate. Wow, okay. Interesting. So our opponent could have just ticked down, taken the Glorybringer out. Instead, has gone for a different play. But now I mean we have to play the Vizier here. That's a given. And I don't think we can. I mean, this still is a pretty bad spot. I think we just have to go after our opponent's life total. We're not really going to win this game by trying to kill this Vraska. So get our opponent down to 5. Maybe they go down to 4 off the Siphoner. Maybe not. Yeah, so it looks like our opponent's staying at 5, which is smart. They can use the Vraska now to get rid of a Glorybringer. Okay. Do they have a removal spell for this Vizier? It's going to be a confiscation coup, so that's better than a removal spell. We do have a coup of our own, but it's still not looking good because then the Vraska can then kill the Glorybringer. If we draw a land, we can land Carnage Tyrant. So Rogue Refiner definitely not what we wanted. So we can coup Glorybringer. Think we just do that. But our opponent might just have like a blossoming defense. And that would just be game if that was the case, but no. Okay. So we're gonna get our Glorybringer back, or our Vizier that's copying Glorybringer rather. But now our opponent can still tick down Vraska. And we're actually just dying to the Siphoner plus Pirate attacks. But keep in mind, I mean, we multi-4 this game. Our opponent did take a mulligan, but it was only to 6, and they were on the draw. So if our opponent just bricks on land one turn, I think we are going to win this game. But, or I should say one more turn, because I believe they missed their second land drop. But that did not happen, and then, yep, just kind of, this is how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Alright, let's see if we have some sort of miracle draw that I'm not thinking about. We could play the Carnage Tyrant, but we're still taking lethal, so That's just going to be the match here.